So in this particular video, I'm to this quadratic equation by formula method. So it says solve the quadratic equation 6 or solve the quadratic formula, solve the quadratic equation 6x plus 3, all right, by formula method. So the simple thing we need to do first of all is to recall the formula or the quadratic formula. Let's recall the quadratic formula. We know that the quadratic formula is given by x, so I'm using x over here because the variable involved in the equation given is x. So x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so this is the equation that most people call almighty formula, but up to this moment I don't know what is almighty about the formula. All right, so that's just by the way. So here is an equation to solve a general or the general quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So that is again is the equation or the formula to solve the general quadratic equation this. All right, so since this formula solves this quadratic equation, the general quadratic equation, it means the same formula should solve this specific quadratic equation. So to solve that, compare the general form or the general equation with this specific equation so that you can write out, you can bring out the values of the parameters, which is the values of a, b, and c. Comparing the two equations, the value of a is 16, the value of b is negative 26, and the value of c is plus 3. Okay, so the next thing that or the next step that should be taken is substituting those parameters, those values into the equation. So this would be equal to, the value of b is negative 26, so I have a minus sign already. So minus negative or minus another minus in the bracket 26 plus or minus the square root of minus 26 all to the power of 2 all squared minus 4 times the value of a is 16 and the value of c is 3. So this square root should affect everything, all the numbers under it. Then all this divided by 2 times 16. Okay, so you can now go ahead and do what? You can go ahead and simplify the equation or the formula or the expression, if you permit me to call it that. So as a negative sign outside the bracket and then negative sign in the bracket, so minus times minus of course is plus. So this is going to be positive 26 plus or minus, and you take the square root of minus 26, your answer should be plus 676. All right, so there's a negative sign here, so let's go ahead and multiply 4 by 16. So 4 by 16 should be 64, and 64 times 3 is 192. All right, 192. So to follow along, just punch your calculator and be sure that that you understand what we're doing. So 2 times 16 is 32. Okay, so therefore the value of x would be equal to 26 plus or minus 26 plus or minus, so let's subtract 192. We're subtracting 192 from 676. All right, and that will be 484. 484 all divided by 32. So we have the value of x. The next step, the value of x is therefore equal to 26 plus or minus. So what's the square root of 484? That should be 22. So 22 divided by 32. All right, so therefore we can split this and write it as 26 plus 22, because there's a plus or minus sign at the numerator, so you can go ahead and break it up, divided by 32, or the value of x is equal to 26 minus 22 divided by 32. So let's just go ahead and simplify this to get the final simplified answer to this question. So when you add up 26 by 22, the answer should be 32. Okay, and 32 by 42, your answer 26 plus 22 is 48 rather. The 48 divided by 32 is 3/2 to the simplified, or the nearest the small simplified form. So or divide or subtract 22 from 26, that is 4, and when you divide 4 by 32, you should get 1/8. So it means the roots of this quadratic equation, 16x squared minus 26x plus 3 equals 0, is 3/2 or 1/8. Thank you for your time.